Okay, the first cheat day rule to help you keep burning fat is to make sure that it's actually scheduled. So pick 1 or 2 meals that you're going to have during the week as your treat. And this can really be whatever day you like. It's just important to make sure that it's actually scheduled. Planning for that treat meal and making it more scheduled helps to remove emotionally reaching for foods as a crutch for when you're feeling more stressed or tired. And this in itself helps to make those cheat days, or as I like to call them, the treat meals, less of a habit and more of an actual treat, which means that you're actually able to enjoy that treat but still work towards your weight loss and wellness goals. In fact, there's even been a study on this, on how 1 to 2 scheduled treat meals a week can actually be beneficial for working toward your weight loss goals. I've done a video on it in the past that you can check out right here. Which my name's Autumn and I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's in nutrition and human performance. And today's video is sponsored by LMNT. More on them in a bit. Now, the second rule is to have that treat meal later in the day, meaning preferably as either a dessert or dinner. And notice we're talking about a treat meal, not a treat day. If you tuned into one of my recent live streams a few weeks back, this was a huge weight loss mistake that I was seeing time and time again, viewing these treats as a full day rather than a meal. Most treats are going to be really high in refined carbohydrates or really high in sugars, both of which really spike our storing hormone insulin and our blood glucose levels. And as a result of that really big spike in blood glucose, the body tends to overcompensate in bringing it back down, and this can result in that crash in blood glucose. That crash is what makes you continue to crave more and more sugar, more and more refined carbohydrates. So if you start off your day by having a treat, like let's say pancakes or waffles or whatever it might be, then you're going to be experiencing that crash early in the day, which means that you're going to then crave more of those treats all throughout the day, making that treat meal turn into a treat day. Rather, if you have that treat later in the day and you plan for it at either your dinner or as a dessert, you minimize the opportunity on how often your blood glucose is going to be crashing throughout the day, as well as how often insulin is going to be spiked throughout the day. So before we move on to tip number 3, a really important bonus tip for especially that recovery after that treat meal is make sure that you're actually upping your electrolytes the next day. Something that happens when you overly spike insulin with these refined treats and refined carbohydrates is that the body tends to hold on to water and sodium. So the next day, when insulin levels start to dip back down as you get back to your normal routine, the body can start to lose a lot of water and sodium. And electrolyte imbalances can make you feel pretty crummy the next day after a treat meal, which is why I really love today's sponsor, LMNT. It's free of added sugars, so especially if you're looking to achieve a weight loss goal, that's really important. It also contains sodium, which is the main electrolyte loss when you are releasing that water and electrolytes, but it also contains potassium as well as magnesium. In fact, there's even been some studies that have found not getting enough sodium can make you more insulin resistant, which in turn can make it even harder for the body to tap into fat burning. Now, LMNT comes in a ton of different flavors, but if you are using intermittent fasting and you're using it during the fasting period, sorry plant, I just smacked you, then I would recommend opting for their unflavored LMNT. I use this during my own fasted period. If you are intermittent fasting or if you're having it during your eating window, then they have a ton of really great flavors that you can test out. I personally love their raspberry salt, but my fiance loves their watermelon salt as well as their citrus salt. So you can test out 8 LMNT packets for free. All you have to do is pay for the shipping by using the link in the description below. This is just for my viewers, for the AM peeps. So make sure you check out the link in the description below so you can test out LMNT to help cover your electrolyte needs. Okay, the third rule is probably actually the most important rule, and that's to make sure you eat your protein first. So for example, if you're having pizza as your treat, ordering a side of wings or meatballs to have first. Or if you're having a dessert as your treat, making sure that you have high quality protein, enough for your body's needs, which I have a video on that you can check out right here, at your dinner before you have your dessert. This is really important because protein helps to boost the satiety hormone peptide YY. And by eating the protein first, you actually start to tell your brain that you're getting full and satisfied and you don't need to eat as much of that treat. Whereas if you go into that treat feeling really hungry and not eating that protein first, or just simply not having protein at that treat, you're more likely to eat a lot more of that treat, and as a result get a huge spike in blood glucose, a huge spike in that storing hormone insulin, making it so that you're likely going to get an even faster crash and start craving even more of that sugar or treat. Where if you have that protein first, you can eat that treat and enjoy that treat, but just simply not crave as much of it. Now, the fourth rule to consider is that frequency really matters, especially if you're looking to achieve a weight loss goal, and especially if you do have some degree of insulin resistance. It's really important not to have these sugary refined ingredients start to become a habit, because with having a more habitual treat, for example, every single night or 5 days a week, then that will just keep that storing hormone insulin on the higher end. And when insulin is high, we can't tap into fat burning. A good rule of thumb is to aim for about 1 to 2 treat meals during the week, especially if you are on a weight loss journey. However, if you are carbohydrate sensitive or you do have some degree of insulin resistance, you'll want to keep that to 1 treat, or perhaps even remove the treat while you break through a plateau. And you can check out my 3-minute tips on how to lose belly fat with this video next. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love this science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come on, new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.